Next up, next tier quarterbacks. This is where I think my man Bo Nix belongs, right here. After a strong season last year, and I don't even know this is the order, I'm just putting him in this tier to help you guys get off my ass. That's it. I think Bo Nix belongs in this tier, and I think he could finish as a top 12 guy. But where's the upside with Bo Nix? Like, he's not going to rush for like 200 yards more. He's not going to throw for 4,500 yards. And I don't think the touchdowns are going to increase just because you go get Evan Ingram. So really, where is the upside with Bo Nix, who had a good season last year, but a lot of down games? Why? He had 10 games under 20 fantasy points, but why is that? Because his team doesn't need to pass the football. They want to run and play defense. So I think Bo Nix is a good quarterback here. He just doesn't possess the same upside as the quarterbacks I have listed ahead of him. I think he's a very nice floor play here in this range. A very nice floor play in this range. Next up, in this same range, I got to go through the last names. Trevor Lawrence. T-Law. T-Law. How y'all feel about T-Law? How y'all feel about T-Law? This is a player that we were super excited about last year. T-Law was going top 8 quarterback, top 10 quarterback. And then he got hurt, and what happened? Damn it, bro. He got hurt, and what happened? Now we fade him. Now he's not worth being drafted as a top 15 guy. You go and you upgrade the offensive weapons. You get Brian Thomas last year, which I know it wasn't working for Trevor Lawrence. We'll talk about that later. But you upgrade the offensive weapons. You go get Travis Hunter in the first round. You go get Liam Cohen, who we've seen what he did in Tampa with Baker Mayfield. Like, they're going to take more chances downfield. They're going to have more scripted stuff to Travis Hunter. Like, the way Trevor Lawrence is set up, he's set up to be what Baker Mayfield was. So unless you just think Trevor Lawrence is not a good quarterback, which doesn't really make sense, I will say this. He needs to stay healthy because he's been banged up a lot in his career. I will say that. He also needs to limit the fumbles because he's been kind of like turnover prone at times. In this offense, if Liam Cohen can get him right, T-Law has the same upside as like a Baker Mayfield, top 5-ish top upside. Like I said, I know it sucks because I'm saying that about so many quarterbacks. They have upside. I just think the floor is a lot lower for Trevor Lawrence, and that's why he's down here. So when I say top 5 upside, I genuinely think, which sucks because it sounds like I'm just throwing shit out there. I genuinely think there's like probably 15 quarterbacks that can finish top 5 this year. Straight up. I just think Trevor Lawrence's floor is a lot lower than those guys. But Trevor Lawrence belongs in this range. Another player that has elite upside in this range, elite upside, was the QB 11 on a points per game basis. You already know who it is? This guy right here, Drake May. Drake May. Really liked what I saw out of him last year. And I think Drake May has a little bit of room to grow as a player, but we won't see the full thing of what this looks like with Drake May until he gets an elite receiver. That's when we will see more out of Drake May, in my opinion. I think for now, we got to kind of rein back the expectations for Drake May, but if he was a top 10 finisher at the position, I don't think it would shock anybody. So while I don't think he possesses the same upside as like a Trevor Lawrence or maybe the same floor as a Bo Nix, I do think he belongs in this range because the range of outcomes, if Diggs is healthy for the entire year, if Kyle Williams can hit, there's a lot of ifs when it comes to Drake May, more so than some of the other guys on this list. But there is the if factor with Drake May. If things can work out and he can play at the level under Josh McDaniels, like there's a chance that we get good value out of Drake May, who we really liked last year as a top 12 option down the stretch before he got hurt. So I think Drake May does have that potential. I'm leaving him in this C tier. A quarterback I'm starting to get down on a little bit. Where are you at, my man? Caleb Williams. I have him in this tier as well. McDaniels made Mac Jones a Pro Bowler. Exactly. T-Law let me down this year. we don't play fantasy last year. Daniel, he did. He was a letdown, but we can't play fantasy last year. We got to play fantasy 2025, not fantasy 2024. I was big on him, but I'm drafting. Even if CMC hits, he's not a league winner. Achilles tendonitis is no joke. I think if he hits, he is a league. He's definitely not a league winner, but he's definitely like RB1. If he hits, he could be RB1. But Caleb Williams, I am kind of down on Caleb Williams this year. And I know Ben Johnson, the fact that he's there, a lot of people are going to be like, well, Ben Johnson's there. Like, the offense is going to be so much better. But this offense also, like, it's still DJ Moore and Rome. And I think Rome can take a big step up. But unless he takes, like, a massive step up, I don't really see this offense popping like everybody else does. And I'm getting kind of concerned that, like, Caleb just needed some time to adjust to the NFL game. I don't know that I don't even know if he gets to 4,000 yards this year. And I think the offense is good, and I think Ben Johnson will change some things. But Chicago is also, like, it's different than Detroit, who's, like, indoors. It's an indoor offense. Like, you play outside, you get some of those sloppy games in Chicago where their home field is outside, especially like in the wintertime. It just limits your upside. The wind is a factor there. Like, there's other elements to just Caleb Williams that I haven't fully bought into him taking that next leap up. So I think you have to kind of be like on a hope and a prayer, like, please, Caleb, without painted fingernails. You have to hope and pray, like, please, Caleb, like, I hope you hit this range that we want. And I think he showed flashes of it, but until he shows more consistency through a lot of picks last year, he's going to have to show more consistency. He's going to have to show that he has mastery of this offense. This is his second offense now in 2 years. He's also got to have another weapon. Keenan Allen's not there. Keenan Allen was his go-to guy last year at times. Like, I know you go get another tight end in Colston Loveland. I'm just not sold on Caleb having an elite season this year. So I think the ceiling's a little bit limited, and I actually think the floor is probably lower than we want. That's why I'm a little down on Caleb. A little bit down. Christopher, appreciate you, homie. Appreciate you. Goff instead of Dak, bro? No, Goff belongs in this tier. This is where I have Jared Goff. And Jared Goff, there's a strong possibility that Jared Goff outplays this spot. Very strong possibility that Jared Goff outplays the C tier. Very strong. I would probably say, like, he's going to be top 10 and 12 because every year he is. But with Ben Johnson gone, that would be my only real concern with Goff. And I think that, Jared Goff, who was QB6 last year, QB7 the year before that, QB10 the year before that, like, we know who Jared Goff is. It's just not a sexy pick. Am I wrong for having him this low in this tier? Am I wrong for having Jared Goff here? Because this is where I got him. And I look at Drake May, I look at upside. I look at Trevor Lawrence, I look at upside. I look at oh my God, bro. I look at upside. I look at Caleb. I even look at some slight upside there. Am I wrong for having Jared Goff behind those guys? You think so? Should give benefit of the doubt? He's been QB7 and QB6 over the last 2 years. Do I put him in the B tier? That'd be a big leap up, and I have concerns about, like, Amon-Ra, like, coming into the season healthy. You're not wrong. Goff should be at the end of the B tier. I feel like Goff, that's one I'm having trouble with because we know the offense is good. J-Mo, big year up for him. Sam Laporta probably bounces back. Amon-Ra St. Brown should be a 1,200, 1,500-yard receiver. Jahmyr Gibbs, we love him to be a top 3 option at the running back. Like, I know you lose Frank Ragnow. You lose Ben Johnson. Am I penalizing Jared Goff too much? This is a quarterback I'm having trouble ranking. I'm not going to lie. I have him in this C tier. The last quarterback I have in this C tier, and I don't know if you guys are going to agree with this or not, but I don't really care. The last quarterback I have in this C tier. Who could guess it? Damn it, I already showed it on YouTube. Who can guess who I have it? Who's the last quarterback I have in this tier? I already showed it on YouTube. Who you guys think it is? Penix? No, good guess though. Good guess, Coop. Baker's in the B tier. Baker's in the B tier. Stroud or Fields? Fields is in the B tier. Puffy? Damn, Puffy is crazy. CJ Stroud is in this tier. CJ Stroud is in this tier. I got CJ Stroud here. And I think CJ Stroud goes way later than he should. Like right now I have him ranked, that's my what? QB like 15-ish? That's a little high. Edit feature reminders. Why does it tell me off right now? Here we go. I think CJ Stroud belongs in this tier, and it's the offensive weapons around him. Now, we were taking CJ Stroud last year as a top 10 option. I think everybody got burned. He got pushed down. He's like QB 20 something now, QB 19. And I think CJ Stroud could have he could bounce back in a major way. Like, to me, he reminds me of like a Dak light, a light version of Dak. But if everybody's drafting Nico Collins and saying Nico could be the wide receiver one, Jaden Higgins is an elite, like, flex option. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has upside as a rookie. They drafted Jalen Noel in the second round. You go get Christian Kirk. Joe Mixon, like, this offense should be good. I know the lines are concerned, but, like, CJ Stroud might be better than we think this year. They got a new offensive coordinator as well. And, you know, I think that there's a chance where CJ Stroud plays at, like, a top 10 level. So that's why I have him in here. I think the floor is really nice for CJ Stroud, too. Could be in some shootouts if Jacksonville is better, if Indy is better. Tennessee is obviously not a great team, so could be higher scoring. Like, that division is kind of theirs for the taking. So I think while last year I was saying don't draft CJ Stroud, he was going at top 5 levels at times last offseason. I think outside of the top 15 quarterbacks, he's a really, really good value for CJ Stroud right now. He's in my C tier. He's in my C tier. All right, moving on. D tier. Agree with the list so far? The list is, for those just coming in, the list is Lamar, Josh Allen, and Jalen Hurts in the first tier. Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, Pat Mahomes in the second tier. Justin Fields, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Jordan Love, and Brock Purdy in the B tier. Bo Nix, Trevor Lawrence, Drake May, Caleb Williams, Jared Goff, and CJ Stroud in the C tier. Are you a Chase Brown guy? Nah. I'm not. Let's go to the D tier. My boy Herb. Justin Herbert in the D tier. Now, I know what you're thinking. Like, Justin Herbert, he's a good real-life quarterback. This is a run-first offense and will be a run-first offense. Even he will probably run a little bit more this year. Herbert is a good quarterback, but, like, there's a real big cap onto what he can do this year. It reminds me of, like, Bo Nix, but just even worse. Like, Harbaugh wants to run the football. Greg Roman wants to run the football. And you lose Mike Williams, who obviously didn't even see the field this year. So you got pretty much the same offense as last year, just Omarion Hampton and Najee Harris. You add 2 better running backs than what you have. And damn near the same offense. You get Trey Harris. Like, what are we doing with Herbert? And Justin Herbert last season was the QB. Somebody asked if this is too early for a tier list. No, this is the perfect time for a tier list. He was the QB 12 last year. That's a healthy season. 3,800 yards. Like, what more is he going to do than what he did last year? Herbert was hurt last year. That's fine. But what more is he going to do? Like, what more? He's going to run more. They're going to slow the game down more. So I think Herbert, if you want to take Herbert and put him in the C tier, that's fine. I got him down here in this D tier. I think there's a real cap on what Herbert's going to do this year. And we haven't seen Herbert since, like, his early years be even a top 10 guy. He himself has struggled to stay healthy, right? Like, that's been a thing for him as well. He's played through injury, which is fine, but he's done that multiple years. Kind of the same thing as, like, Trevor Lawrence, but Trevor Lawrence just has way more ceiling than a Herbert. So if you want to take Herbert, that's fine. I got him ranked down here. Next up in this tier, Matthew Stafford. Najee Harris. Nah, we ain't doing Najee, bro. Najee's out. He's like RB 30, 35 for me, somewhere in there. Matthew Stafford. I think Matthew Stafford could be in this tier, and a quarterback who could throw for 40 touchdowns, like Baker Mayfield-ish. He's not going to run the football, which obviously, like everybody, I think, except for Goff, pretty much everybody else can run. And I think Stafford's just a quarterback that will probably throw for 400 to 4,500 yards. You get Devontae Adams, that's an elite receiver, not just Devontae's watch. Like, I think we got to, just because he has a new jersey on and like maybe was a little slow with the Raiders, I think it was easy in like, oh, Aaron Rodgers is his boy. It's easy to forget what like Devontae Adams really is. Devontae's him. And you got Puka. Like, you have two elite. Is that the best receiving core in football? It might be. If it's not number one, it's number two probably. If it's not number one, it's number two. And if Stafford, I think he was banged up at times last year. I talked about it earlier in the stream. He had a lot of injuries to his receiving core. Like, Stafford has real potential to throw for 4,500 yards and like 35, 40 touchdowns. So I like Stafford here. Think he's a good value, and he's probably going to outplay where I have him. I think there's a strong possibility a lot of these quarterbacks are going to outplay where I have him ranked. Like, it's just, how do you rank this kind of talent? There's a lot of talent at the quarterback position right now. You know what? Stafford is ahead of Williams for me. Ryan, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that, actually. I told you, I kind of have, I feel like I have Caleb too high. And we're anticipating like Caleb being good. I don't know. You said you ain't wrong. I'm just a homer. Said, oh, for Goff. For Goff. Next up in this tier. Tua Tagovailoa. Now, with Tua, it's one of those things where, like, I think Tua, if you think he's going to get a concussion, don't draft him. But that's really the risk with Tua. It's really not like Tua is a bad quarterback or that this offense is super limited. It's just he can't stay healthy. The concussions get to him. If Tua stays healthy, like he's a top 12 guy, Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, add Darren Waller, but like Achane, this is an offense that'll move. So really the only reason why he's down here and not top 15 is because of the concussions, which I think is a real risk. I really do think it's a real risk. So I got Tua down here, and I don't mind drafting him earlier than this. It's just if you draft Tua, you better have somebody else. You better have somebody else at quarterback. I hope Tua stays healthy, but you better have somebody else. This is going to be a crazy year because a lot of these quarterbacks have either shown top 12 potential, finished top 12, top 5. Like, there's been a lot. There's a lot of guys that deserve good rankings. And there's going to be, there's a lot of talent. Like, fade the quarter. If I'm you, I would find other positions and draft quarterback later. Honestly. There's a lot. We haven't even got, I really like the quarterbacks this year. Next up for me. You don't like McCarthy? He's definitely set up for success. I like McCarthy. He's just unproven. Really what it comes down to. Is he not even on here? Oh, there you go. Next up for me, Michael Penix. Basically just like Tua for me, attached to an elite offense, has the potential to be like, a 30 touchdown guy, 4,000 yard, 30 touchdown guy if things go well in this offense. And I really believe in this Falcons offense. I know probably more than some, but like I think Penix has all the upside in the world to be like a 30 touchdown guy even this season. The arm he showed last year was crazy. He has an elite arm. And when you're attached to this offense under Zach Robinson, who's going to put him in good spots, like I think what they were trying to do with Kirk and what we saw, remember the game with Kirk where on Monday night where he threw, 5 touchdowns on Monday night, threw for like 500 yards and 4 touchdowns. What was the game he had? Like, imagine a healthy Kirk Cousins in that offense. That's what we're getting with Michael Penix, but a bigger arm. Y'all understand that, right? Like, this is going to be an elite offense. So they have, for me, like, I know I really like Michael Penix, and it's been very hard for me to rank him higher than some of these guys, even though I want to, because we don't have the tape on it yet. And a lot of times my process, sometimes it hurts me because I go tape over sometimes what I think, that intuition, and it hurts me sometimes. For here, I got Penix, and I think he can massively outplay the spot. I've said that damn near about every quarterback, though, which kind of sucks. 10-team mock on Mondays. Mock draft Monday. Mock draft Monday. Next up in this tier. JJ McCarthy. Where are you at, JJ? There you go. JJ McCarthy, I think, belongs in this tier. And it's for the upside reasons. I think he has a similar type of floor. And I haven't been wanting to put him in here, but I need to, because if it's anything that we've learned is that strong offensive coaches get the most out of their players. And I think Kevin O'Connell has got the most out of any quarterback he's put in that behind that backfield. So I do think it's a little high for JJ McCarthy, but I think he's just in a better setup than some of the other guys I have right behind him. Like, I'll talk about Bryce Young and Cam Ward here, but I think JJ McCarthy does have some elite upside. It's just the floor could also be really low here. I just don't see it, because we saw what he made Sam Darnold last year. Kevin O'Connell made Sam Darnold the top 10 option at quarterback. And JJ McCarthy is a good football player. Like, they took him at 12 for a reason. Or is it? They took him at 12, right? At 12? I want to say they took him at 12. So, no, was it 8? I think they took him at 8. Where was JJ McCarthy drafted? Was it 8? Was it 8? Somebody let me know. Was it 8 or 12? Bo Nix was 12 and he was 8. Is that what it was? Where was JJ McCarthy drafted at? Just so I have that for my reference. Was it 8? Anybody know? Nobody? Y'all don't know football like that? 10? It was 10? Like, y'all don't, come on, man. Y'all got to know. Y'all, 10. Penix was 8. That's right. Penix was 8. You're right. But yeah, I think McCarthy has a lot of potential in this offense too. And the thing is, it's just, this is potential floor right here, right? I think Herbert is a floor pick. I think Stafford is a floor pick. I think Tua is a floor pick if he stays healthy, but also has a little bit better ceiling than than maybe a Herbert has, in my opinion. Penix is a floor and ceiling pick. McCarthy is a floor and ceiling pick. So that's why this range is what it is. That's the last of this range. D tier, Justin Herbert, Matthew Stafford, Tua, Penix, JJ McCarthy.